Welcome to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, where nurses take control, break barriers, and build a future of financial freedom and career success. Whether you're burned out, ready to level up, or looking for the blueprint to thrive, you're in the right place. It's time to lead, grow, and win because your future starts now. Here's your host, Dr. Chichi.
Hello, welcome back to this episode of Take Charge with Dr. Chichi. Welcome, welcome. This is your friend, Dr. Chichi. Welcome back. This show is where we dive deep into the realities of nursing beyond the bedside. Of course, my mission is to empower nurses or anyone listening to take charge of their lives and reclaim their power emotionally, physically, and professionally through stories, education, and real conversations. I'm here, of course, to have a real conversation about the challenges and opportunities that come with the nursing and the healthcare profession. During each episode, of course, we will explore stories, struggles, and successes of nurses just like you. Whether you're looking for a way to protect your well-being, take control of your finances, or build a future beyond the hospital walls, you're in the right place. Last show, I had the opportunity of having one of my friends here, Verita Henderson. The episode was titled Burned Out But Not Broken, a Nurse Leader's Journey. Um, it was an interesting session. I remember her saying something about, having that we always, as nurses, we always have too many irons in the fire as nurses. And then she also highlighted the importance of taking a break. And she also gave an illustration of having two juggling balls, and then one is a rubber ball, and then the other one is a crystal ball. And she said that when the ball falls, right, she said it will take, like most likely, the crystal ball will, of course, shatter. It will break in pieces. But the rubber ball might fall down and bounce back up. So I guess my question is, of course, we know the crystal ball is very fragile, but my question is, how are we juggling our lives? How are we juggling our lives? Right? Of course, we don't want to shatter our own lives. So what are you supposed to do? Take charge. Take charge of your life, people, before it's too late. I'm talking to myself too, because I'm guilty. So for today's episode, I'll have my beloved sister-in-law. She's my accountability partner. She is a hardworking nurse practitioner. We call each other to diffuse stress from work and encourage each other to be our best. Um, she's an amazing lady. And I talked to her about coming to the show today. And she said, I will be here. She's one of the people that have encouraged me in so many ways to be my best. And she's an awesome lady. Of course, she's no other person than Nena, but let me tell you guys the title of this episode. It's called Empowered to Build: How Nurses Can Create, Innovate, and Succeed. Right? Nena is a board certified nurse practitioner. She's an integrative health educator. She's a health and wellness content creator. She's the founder of Beyond the White Code podcast, and a Nota, and she's also the founder of Nota Health. She's been a nurse for 24 years. She's been a nurse practitioner for 7 years, and her background is in hospital medicine and nephrology. Of course, her goal is to promote evidence-based integrative health education and tools for both clinicians and the general public. Her mission is to, you know, one mission that she has is to empower others to take proactive, informed steps towards long-term well-being using root cause, lifestyle-based strategies, and not just prescriptions. I have the honor of introducing my lovely, lovely sister, Nena. Nena, can you say hello to them, please?
Yes, hello.
All
Yeah,
right.
so thank you for having me on your show. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. So, the goal of this episode will be to highlight Nena's journey as a nurse practitioner and entrepreneur. She's also here to inspire nurses to explore their entrepreneurship and leadership roles. She's here to discuss the importance of mindset, resilience, and faith in building success. She's also here to encourage nurses to see themselves as innovators and business owners. Okay? So, I usually call her Auntie Nena. Auntie Nena, so how are you?
I'm doing great. And
All
how
right,
you
good.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
All
I'm glad
right.
to have you here, though. I know you had to take time for your busy schedule to be here, and I really appreciate that.
No worries.
Thank you so much. All
Glad to be
right.
here. Yes. Mhm.
All right. So, can you share your journey into becoming a nurse practitioner for us, please? If you can just tell us a little bit about that, that would be really interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll be glad to. Well, first of all, I would say, I was a registered nurse at the bedside for about maybe 16 years. And then I decided to go back to school to get my master's in family nurse practitioner. And my journey into becoming a nurse practitioner was actually born out of a maybe deeper desire to be more than a task doer or checking off the box or taking orders in the clinical setting. So I wanted to have a deeper voice into more decision making and also, being a better advocate for the patients. It also gives me the opportunity to kind of expand my clinical expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, it also helps me to sort of dive more into education,
Wow.
prevention, wellness, long term, So because I'm in a different role now, so I have a little bit more um, leverage,
Mm-hmm.
to actually make a great impact on the patient and the experiences. Mhm.
Wow. You said nurse practitioner, but it doesn't just stop there. I know you have two masters. You have you're a family nurse practitioner and a critical nurse practitioner, right?
Family
Is it
nurse practitioner and acute care nurse
acute care nurse
practitioner.
practitioner?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Wow, I told you guys you're just a powerhouse. So let me ask you, what inspired you to venture into entrepreneurship?
To be honest with you, I would say two things. I would say one, burnout, and
Wow.
having the desire for financial freedom. You know,
Wow.
those two things kind of motivated me to kind of venture out. Well, let's talk about burnout first. Like as we know, mostly, I would say all nurses at one point feel burned out,
Mm,
truly. So, being in a situation where we are more of protocol followers, we are kind of boxed in a clinical box where you have to follow certain protocols. So and not only that, we are working under very stressful conditions. The conditions are not very favorable sometimes because you see nurses working, long hours.
Mm.
They work long hours. They hardly, have time to take care of themselves, taking care of patients, neglecting themselves.
Or even going to the bathroom.
Yeah, so that alone, because at a point in my career, there was a time when I was on the verge of just quitting nursing actually, because I was physically sick. You know,
Mm.
I became sick.
I remember that. Mm.
And I eventually got myself out of that. But it wasn't a good place to be,
Mm.
right? So that was a big motivation for me to find something that can actually elevate me towards my goal
Yeah,
in life. And at one point I love nursing because of what it is, taking care of somebody who is compromised, and being able to serve, but we can't lose ourselves in the process, because you have to be well to take care of
that's right.
somebody else,
That's
right?
right.
So that's one of the things that motivated me to kind of take a different course. Okay. um the second part of it is
So there's a part one and a part two.
well, I mentioned two things.
I know, I know. Go
when it
ahead, go
comes to
ahead, go
when it
ahead.
comes
See, I wanted people to hear this because it's
yes.
good for people to know.
Mhm. It's
Yes.
good for people to know. You
Yeah.
see, when you're on the outside, you don't really get that grasp of what it is until you are in there. You have to
Yeah.
walk in the nurse's shoes to understand, but you don't have to go through all of that.
That's right. That's why we're doing this.
Yes. So the second part is financial freedom. Because at one point, we don't want to work for somebody forever. At one point, you have to be able to be your own boss, think outside the box. Because being boxed in a clinical box, that does not allow you to think outside the box. You have to follow protocols, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so until you break out of that and be your own boss, be an entrepreneur, then you'll be able to set yourself up to get to that level, right? And so that's what everybody, one of us wants. We
Yeah.
want financial freedom, a legacy for
I
our
do. I want it too.
children.
Yeah.
You cannot leave that legacy be boxed in working for somebody forever,
Mhm.
Yes.
Wow, that was powerful. So what I'm telling you is deep. When you're talking, I mean, it just feels like me, like what's going through my mind,
Uh-huh.
The point that you made about protocol is really the way you describe it, box into a protocol. Like you have to do this, and then if after you do this, you do this,
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't give you time to think.
Mhm.
That was a good example or good reason, So let me ask you a question. The next question I want to ask you is, what challenges did you face transitioning from clinical work to business ownership?
Good question. Yeah, sometimes everybody wants to be a businesswoman, but it can sometimes it's not a cakewalk, to be honest with you.
Or is that?
So you have to have a plan.
Yeah,
There has to be a strategy, for success, right? So I would say the 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 challenges there are several challenges, but what coming from a clinical background, where your mind, you have this mindset, your mind is already programmed,
hmm
okay, to follow certain rules, certain ways, because you cannot just deviate. You are like boxed in, like I said before.
hmm
So you are coming from a place where protocols are already made for you to follow, okay?
Yeah,
Uh, Systems have been created for you to follow. Okay. But now, coming from a business person and an entrepreneur, you are the one creating those systems from scratch. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So there's a level of stress in a way, a level of creativity, a level of, you know, being able to depend on yourself. You are your own self leader. You're leading yourself, and then you'll be in a position to lead others, because now you're creating systems, and these systems will be what will actually lead to your success. If you don't create a good foundation, because there are a lot of things you have to navigate.
So part of it is the challenges, right?
Yes.
Trying, yeah. Trying to get out from that box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That one is another, that one will paralyze you, actually. Because you have to work on your mindset first. You
That's
have to
right.
prep it first to even agree to let yourself get out of that box. Because you will see so many things that will kind of discourage you. You say, oh, okay, I like to be under somebody's payroll. I don't want to leave this comfort, cushy position, okay? Okay, so you will make some people to be boxed in, and they remain boxed in because their mindset has accepted that position that they don't even want to, leave that place. So, but when you come out in the business world, now you are the boss of your own boss, right? You are. It's not.
It's serious. It's serious.
Doable,
I know.
right? It's doable.
It's
But
doable. Yeah.
you have to start from somewhere. Okay, you have to start from somewhere. You don't just come in and get and be thrown into a already made business that is blowing and blowing and flourishing. All right.
Yeah.
Most people don't start like that. You have to start from somewhere and then build up. So you have to go through all that, so those are the challenges you have to think about: marketing,
Yeah.
how to get your exposure, how to navigate through digital space. There are a lot of you have to find mentors, people who will help you. Then you have to move around to align yourself with certain people who will also guide you. So as a clinical person, it's none of your business. You're not even thinking about all of that
Because you're in the box, right?
because you're in the box. That's what I have to say there.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. So let me ask you this one. So how has faith? I know you're a lady, you like God, right?
Mhm,
So when it comes to this question is how has faith, mentorship, or community support influenced your success?
mhm. Absolutely. If you see me, you see God, because I know I can't do without Him.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes. My faith is very important to me,
Mhm.
and it has helped me. It has helped me personally, and professionally, weathered a lot of storms,
Mhm.
and we expect them to come along at one point, either we meet them up there or we meet them down there.
Mhm.
So it's something that matters to me a lot, and I also tend to surround myself with people who also have similar values, similar mindset, who can mentor me, because nobody
Mhm.
is perfect, right?
Mhm.
At some point, you're going to have to, lean on somebody who perhaps, is ahead of you, started before you, so you don't have to make all the mistakes that the person has made,
That's
and
right.
somebody who can kind of mentally lift you up, and like you are my accountability person. So
Of course, of course.
I
I mean,
know.
we've really mentored each other, I'm telling you.
Absolutely,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Sometimes when I get and I hung up on something, I'm calling and teaching. That's
Yeah, yeah.
and you do your magic.
Well, you do your magic too. I think there's something about two heads. You know how they say two heads are better than one?
Yes.
You know, and then when you have ideas, you just share with me, and then I look at it, I said, so why don't you do it this way? You're like, oh, that makes sense, or something like that. I think having an accountability partner is good, and also having a mentor is just one amazing thing to have. So what about community support? How has it influenced your success?
I think it's very important to find you a good community support system.
Yeah.
I tend to rely so much on Facebook. All right. So I plug myself into a lot of groups, on Facebook that kind of get toward what I'm doing.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
you will learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this being a business person, you cannot be social media shy. That's one thing. You
You know,
cannot.
see, that's one part of, I'm not really a social media person, but I'm learning every day, And
Yeah.
I've really learned a lot from social media.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important. For me, it has helped me, because you cannot experience everything in life.
Yeah.
Sometimes you learn from other people's experiences.
I
And
agree.
one thing
I agree.
yes,
Yeah.
one thing I love about like all these groups, because a lot of people open up in those groups. They're willing to share pitfalls. They're willing to share the victories. And when I see those things, I pick up a few things from there. If
Mm-hmm.
you're not the person that like to be out there, putting yourself out there, all these groups, they're the best things for you to do, because you can just there observe others, see what they're doing, see what's working for them,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then you go from there.
That's right.
Mhm.
So what advice will you give nurses that are considering starting a business?
Um, like I said, advice I have to give them. The advice is one,
Just do it.
because your business, you have to first of all define what is success, you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh and also success, failure is a part of success.
That's right.
You learn from failure, right? To even get to a higher place, right? Uh, so starting a business is something, one, it's not something that somebody can push you into doing. It has to come from the heart, right? Okay, so some people might want to go with what they are already passionate about,
That's
right?
right.
And then develop it and go from there. And some people just want to maybe have a different focus. Maybe they want something that will generate money for them. They don't necessarily love what they're doing, okay? But you have to come to a place, that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. For me personally, it's something that that I would love, because it's easier to get discouraged, or your motivation will just deplete if you're doing something that you're not passionate about, that you don't, things will kind of discourage you. You will face challenges sometimes, then you give up. And also, you may encounter failures. Like they say, you fall, you have to have plan B of moving forward, because sometimes failure will come. Okay, you fall, but don't stay down there. Think about something. How do you get yourself up? Move to plan B.
Yes, yes, yes.
You may even need to move to plan C,
I
when
know.
plan,
And then come back to plan B.
you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes people see the sunshine when it comes to business. They don't see the hard work
Yeah. Yeah.
behind the screen, right?
Yeah.
So for every shiny object, there's a lot of work that's behind it that somebody
Yeah.
has put behind it to make it glowy. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why people go into business. They don't want to make millions of dollars, and they hit it and they don't make it. Then
Mm-hmm.
they just, oh my God. But you have to, so that it's a system. That's what I say. You have to start from scratch. There's a system that you have to start from scratch to build. And you expect that it's not going to be perfect. You just
Mm-hmm.
have to have a plan how
That's
to
right.
tweak it here, tweak it until you get it to a place, that you can accept or work for you.
Having gone through burnout several times in my nursing career, 35 years of nursing career, in the first episode, how it all began, I had Michael Ogbonna, and he was the first person I called when, you know, my coworkers have gone, like some of my coworkers, that I've worked with will tell you sometimes, like when they're going through burnout, I've always been there for them just because I've gone through it and I've known um I've done so I know I do so many things to get myself out of it, right? So I'm always there to help them, help them reflect and tell them stuff. And when they come back to me and say, you told me this, or this is how you told me to do it, and it has worked so well for me. And I'm like, I've been a nurse for 35 years and I've helped people, but I can also help people in a broader way about taking care of their burnout.
Mm-hmm.
And then most of the time, some of them come to work 7 days a week, sometimes 7 days night shift, just to make money because, of course, they're probably the breadwinner in their family, or trying to. It's just financial stuff. That's when I thought about it. So, what you just said now, kind of, about people wanting to do what they enjoy doing, because that's what will keep you going.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what will keep you going. Wow, that was good. So, how do you balance entrepreneurship with healthcare practice? Because I know you're still a nurse practitioner, you still see patients. So, how do you juggle your entrepreneurship with the health care practice?
Okay, that's a very good question, actually. As one thing we have to add for me that's very important to me is my health.
Hmm.
So my health kind of revolves, every other thing revolves around it, Even if I'm a nurse practitioner or if I'm doing something, outside the clinical, setting, So because if you don't have that as a focus, you will be you will be running, you will be running, you will be giving, and
Hmm.
by the time you know it, you are really sick, you know. You will be in a place where you won't wish anybody to be, and how do you balance it? I set a limit for myself,
Hmm.
right? Set a limit for myself. I can do everything I have to run around. I don't do anything beyond by 9:30. By 10, my phone goes into silence mode. No, nothing. You can't reach me. It's time for me to kind of come down and uh, because you have to have some sort of balance.
Yeah.
Have to
Yeah.
have you have to train yourself to have some sort of balance, okay? So that's what I would say there. You have to know yourself, you have to train yourself to say it's okay for me to take a break. If you have to go on a vacation, right? Just take a break and do
Wow.
that, and then come back to work again. You can also make a schedule for yourself, checklist, like almost like a little checklist that you follow, a routine. Maybe that's the right word. Okay. So do this today. I'm going to accomplish this today. And this is what I plan to do today. If I can get to, and sometimes you can't get to it all. It's okay to postpone it. Do it some other time. All right. And have time for yourself. Take care of yourself any way that you can do it. There's only one of us. Well,
That's
if
right.
you're
You're
not
really
here, I
right.
mean, you can do everything and you lose your health, you'll absolutely lose everything because you can't really, you will not enjoy it. Go and ask somebody or somebody who's not only here because, they work and get burnt out. They don't take care of themselves, and then they lose their health. If you're stuck in a hospital, you cannot enjoy anything. Nothing matters really at that point. Okay, that's what I would say there.
Wow. I was reading this article and it says that it was they were trying to cite World Health Organization's quote, and it says there's no health without mental health. And May is a mental health awareness month. So
Yes,
having
yes.
a balance,
Oh, yes.
taking care of yourself, taking breaks, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that's what I've heard you say. It's very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, um, so what is the biggest mindset shift nurses need to take if they want to lead and innovate?
Mm. That's a good one.
Uh,
Okay, so I would say uh, nurses, I would say, will have to move from being task doers to uh, visionaries.
mm,
Yes, because if you if you have a voice, being being a task doer, okay, does not allow you to have a voice.
or innovative.
Yes, yes, because you're just taking off what somebody else has said for you, okay? But
Mhm.
if you have the vision, if you're a visionary, that's what actually creates that voice for you, and it's almost like a foundation for that mind shift. Okay. Um,
And probably make you think beyond the box, right?
yeah, it will make it absolutely.
Out of the box.
Yes, yes, that will make you, and it comes. A lot of things will come with it, and that leadership, you know, um, mindset will come into it, and you know, um, thinking beyond that bedside. Because a lot of us are stuck. Our mind is stuck at the bedside. No, we can't think
Mm.
outside of it. And
Yes.
it's scary outside of it because we don't know anything else outside of that.
And then you come back every day or even 7 days a week checking the same box.
The same box, the same thing,
Mm.
over and over, over
Wow.
and over, and then
I've never thought about it that way.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
yeah, exactly. And you dare not, check outside of that box. It comes with a consequence.
That's right.
You could lose your job. You can lose a
Right.
lot of things.
All right, let me ask you, like if you look back, right? What has been the most rewarding part of your entrepreneurial journey? I, I have an answer to that one.
Okay, tell me the answer.
You can think outside of the box.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. All
Yeah.
right. So tell me. So if you look back, right, what has been the most rewarding part of your entrepreneurial journey?
I think I think for me is saying this is what I created.
That's right.
Like that sense of ownership, that sense of freedom.
Wow.
I might not be making 100,000.
No,
I might not be making money that
I
much.
mean,
You know,
yeah.
you have something. I say, wow, I'm creating this. This is
Mm,
mine. I'm building a legacy.
mm,
That's what everybody wants. So if I'm no longer here and my business grows, and I can actually pass it down. It's something that you can pass down to generations after you. You
mhm.
cannot pass your job down to anybody. You know. So that's I think the most important thing. That's something so fulfilling for me, saying that this
Mm,
is something that I've created. This is mine. I can pass this down to my children. you know, if by God's grace it could lead to my financial freedom. So I don't have to be, I will be my own boss. I have to, depend on somebody else at the end of the day. So that's for me, that's the most rewarding thing. Uh,
okay,
yeah.
that's good. So what I hear you say is being an innovator makes you happy
Mm-hmm.
because when you look at your creation, you smile.
Exactly.
That you smile because you're not checking off boxes
You're
anymore.
not checking
You're
up
actually
box.
using your brain to create something wonderful
Yes,
that can help
yes,
someone else.
absolutely.
That's good. That's good. All right. So I know you're into wellness a lot, right? I know you love wellness. So what does wellness-centered nursing look like for you?
Hmm. I see wellness as something that is so important.
Mm,
I'm telling you, I don't think we lay that much emphasis on wellness. We are more like the hospital system, or it's more like disease centered. It's more disease centered than wellness centered, because they're there to prescribe medication, or do a procedure to correct
a
a
mistake.
diagnosis. All right. So the emphasis is not how to actually prevent somebody from getting there. They're just there to take care of the symptoms that are already presented to them.
Mm,
Okay. So when you bring wellness into the picture, wellness is more like um, creating the whole person, taking care of the whole person, preventing the person from being in a place where the person is diseased, right?
mm,
And also empower the person to take care of him or herself.
mm.
Not so is for me it's very important, because when somebody takes care of him or herself, a lot of things can be prevented. All these chronic diseases we have, okay, can be prevented if we have a wellness, focus, system that looks at the root causes of problems. Okay, not just the symptoms that being manifested. Okay, because when you start having symptoms,
It's
okay,
already messed up.
you are taking time bomb.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why, for me, that wellness focused, holistic, and integrative care is very, very important.
Mhm.
Something that, the medical, system has not really, really embraced so much, because, that's not the training that we got.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nutrition and all of that lifestyle, they're sort of mentioned as part of the training, but not the real focus. Now, the focus is diagnose, and prescribe or treatment for that particular diagnosis. Um, so we need to.
In relation to nutrition, I know there's someone I know, and he said that most of the disease conditions we have come from what we put in our mouth.
Oh
So when you were
yes,
saying nutrition, I was thinking about that comment that someone made to me that most of the conditions that we have in life stems from what we put in our mouth. So we need to pay attention to the kind of stuff we put in our mouth and the kind of activities we put in our body. No, this kind of activities that we participate in and the kind of things, even if it's reading, visual, that we put in our body.
absolutely,
Because,
absolutely,
yeah, because if we
absolutely.
put positive stuff in our body, if we put good food in our body, if we have positive energy in our body, then the wellness is,
Mm-hmm.
is there already, right? It's always there. But we need to put positive things in our body. Good food, nourishing food, positive vibes. Like
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I
like
can
I'm
tell you.
getting from you this evening.
Yes, I can tell you that. I love it. I love it. I can tell you that they say that the majority or most of the diseases that we have are actually artificial and man-made.
That's right. I
Okay,
agree. I
and they
agree.
can be reversed
I agree.
based on what you eat, your lifestyle, and other mental health issues and everything. So when you begin to kind of nibble, I say let's get to the root of it.
Mhm.
You don't have to always use medications to take care of all this. I have my own story, but that's maybe another day. When I come,
Your story might help
if
someone
I
else. Your story might help someone else.
we will not have time for it right now.
It's a long story, right? But I know recently you stopped eating, you eat more of vegetarian kind of diet.
Mhm.
I know you, and I know why you're doing all this, your lifestyle changes or wellness stuff, that it's really helped you, like you told me, but it's amazing.
Yes.
I guess I have to get you back to share that story, right?
Absolutely. I would love to do that. No, that
Yeah.
would be a good episode because it's a long one.
Well, I mean, as long as see, if it's all about helping people because
Yeah.
I know you've gone through burnout several times,
Mhm.
and I know what burnout has put in your body that you decided to take charge, and that's why I wanted you to come and share your story, which is part of what you're discussing now. Your
Mhm.
story has different parts to it, but this one that you're sharing, at least today, is gonna touch a lot of people's life, and I appreciate you for being here. So,
Yeah.
so let me ask you, what final word would you like to leave with our listeners today?
All right. Final word. I would say be yourself.
Hmm,
Okay. Don't look at people. And of course, we get inspirations from people and all of that. But you have to be true to yourself.
that's
You
right.
have to have a purpose.
Hmm,
Even if your business you're doing, you're gonna have a purpose. Why are you doing that?
hmm.
If you're in a work stuck in a work like a work environment, you have to have a purpose. What are you doing? What you're doing? Okay. And when something is not serving you for the purpose you started that or you had envisioned, it's good to you can walk away. You can find something that works that fits your purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have
Yeah.
to be stuck in something, doing something over and over and over because it's probably the status quo. You know? Okay. So be true to yourself. If something is not working, be it business, you can tell when it's not working. You can tell that's not your purpose. That's not what's designed for you. And know when to have a plan B or go back to the drawing board.
Or plan
Uh,
C.
yeah, so plan C. Yes,
Like you
because yeah,
always
you're
say,
right.
plan
Don't be
A,
afraid
plan
to
B,
do
plan
that.
C. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Plan A, plan B, plan C, even plan D. It's
Plan D.
okay. It's
And,
okay.
yeah, and some people, you said something about if it's not working or status quo and all that stuff. And sometimes people do stuff because they need money.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people that go to 9 to 5 job want their health insurance, want their
Mm-hmm.
retirement benefits and all that stuff. I think that's what paralyzes people a lot, and they don't want to leave that place that is burning them out. What kind of word of advice do you have for them?
Um, and I absolutely understand that. I was in that same position at one point. Um, but I think it's always good to have um, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
You're just
No,
talking like an entrepreneur
no,
now.
to be honest with you, tell I always tell people, although I'm working, I always tell people because at that time that I was so burnt out and I continued to stay in that position. Do you know why? Because I did not have a second choice,
Or third choice or
a
fourth
third
choice.
choice. That put me there,
Yes,
I
yes.
was going through physical, sickness,
Hmm.
you know, because I didn't have another. If I had had another, I would have said bye bye, put in my resignation,
I know.
because all those things I had a family to take care of, and you have other responsibilities and obligations. You can't just walk away. It's irresponsible to walk away from a job just without any kind of plan. Sometimes you don't have a choice anyway. If you put in a situation where you're not given a choice, you just have to leave. But if you have that choice, it's always good to have a second, and that's one thing I love about Warren Buffett, right? That he says one of my favorite quotes.
Uh-oh. I had that, but that's okay. You
Don't
can
you
say
have
it.
it? Okay, Okay, maybe we can wait till we get down
To
there.
get that. Okay. So let me ask you now, how can you be reached? I mean, you've said all these interesting things about how people can take charge of their life, right?
Okay.
How can you be reached?
Well, okay, I can be reached. I can go to notahealth.com, like www.notahealth.com. My contact will be there. You can reach me also through email,
Mhm.
contact@notahealth.com. Okay, so if you go to my
So
website,
Nota will be Nota, right?
Nota, like Nota
Mhm.
health.com,
Okay, good.
notahealth.com, yes.
Okay.
Or by email, contact@notahealth.com. That's probably be the best way to reach me because pretty much I can get back with you. No.
All right. So I like to ask this rapid fire questions, right? So what's the favorite way to recharge after a busy day?
Oh, okay. Well, after a busy day, I like to just get my herbal tea.
All right.
No, get my herbal tea, sip my herbal tea, and find somewhere calm, sit down, and I like to take a walk. It's very
Oh,
relaxing for me.
that's
At
good.
the end of the day, you know one thing about it, because after walking maybe 30 minutes, after walking like 30 minutes, you come back, you're really tired. Your body is kind of relaxed. You just want to go it helps me kind of prepare me for bed.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Late walk, like maybe 7:30. I walk until maybe 8 o'clock. I come back in, then
That's really good.
take
That's
my
really
tea,
good.
drink. Then that will calm me down and everything. Take my magnesium, glycinate, and melatonin on top of it.
So you just said magnesium. Some people say magnesium helps one to sleep. Is that true?
Yes, yes.
Oh my
Magnesium,
goodness.
you have to take the right one. There's so many
Oh,
different
oh.
magnesium, formularies. So you have to take glycinate, the one that says glycinate. That is for sleep, and a whole lot of other great things.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
down
I,
the road
well,
we'll
I know
talk
you're
about
not
that.
prescribing. You're just saying what
You
helps you.
know, I know it helps. It has helped me. It's over the counter.
Wow.
It doesn't need prescription. It's just a
Okay.
supplement.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
And you
Well,
sleep.
but
I don't wake up. Only
and
maybe
someone
once.
said magnesium helps with headache too. Is that true?
Yes, it helps with
Magnesium plus.
headache,
Oh wow.
migraines. Yes, with cramps. And guess what?
Uh-huh.
Is also calcium channel blocker. Do you know that?
Wow.
I found
Wow.
that I didn't have it.
You said it's magnesium glycerate.
Yeah, glycerin. Yeah, glycinate. You can take that. That's
Glycinate.
for
Glycinate. Not
that's
glycerate.
formulated specifically for sleep. There are
Wow.
different other kinds like citrate, magnesium citrate, magnesium oxide, and all these other.
Some
Okay.
people just know magnesium is magnesium. All this one that you're adding.
Well, some are better than the others. So for
Yes. Yes.
glycinate is specifically for sleep. That will help you with sleep. It will
Wow.
help with muscle relaxation, right?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And it's good for your blood pressure because it works as a amlodipine, like normal.
Wow.
It's a calcium
Wow.
channel blocker. Yes. And yeah,
Interesting.
mhm.
And it's over the counter.
It's over the counter.
Well, I guess people, if they're gonna get that, they have to talk to their doctor. But
Yes, yes.
network,
Like
yeah,
as
that's true.
always, you have to discuss with your
That's what,
doctor,
yeah.
if you're going to start any supplement or things like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
to kind of
And then
guide
we
you.
always do a disclaimer before, yeah. Ask your doctor.
Exactly,
That's what we're saying.
exactly. Absolutely.
Wow,
Mhm.
but that's good to hear though. I didn't
Mhm.
know that. Yep.
Yes.
So what's your favorite motivational quote? I know you were waiting for this one. All right, Warren Buffett, what did he
I
say?
mean, you can maybe you already know. You already know. You can guess what it
No,
is.
tell me, just tell me, just tell me. I'll let you tell them.
Okay. Is never depend on a single income, right?
Wow.
Make an investment to create a second source. And then let me tell you, I will add to it. This is
Mhm.
my own. It is a financial suicide to depend on a single income, because you're just one step away, right, from a major, when I said a major financial crisis if anything happens to that source, that one single source of income. And that's a place you don't want to be. You never want to be in.
And the question is when will it happen? If it will happen, or when will it happen? Of course, one day someone is gonna get sick.
I'm telling you.
So what are you gonna fall back on?
I'm telling you.
Wow.
You don't want to be there.
Yep. So I'm gonna still talk about that, telling people how to reach so they can get information on um financial information. So let me ask you another beautiful question. I think I know the answer to this one.
Okay.
Coffee, tea, or green smoothies?
What do you think?
So when you say wellness, I think about green smoothies.
Well,
But wait. I had when you said when you get back from work, you'd like to take your herbal tea or something like that and sit in a corner. So what would that answer be? Would that be tea or green smoothies?
oh no, I'm a tea person. Tea, not just any tea. Oh, let me tell
Hot,
you.
hot, hot or cold tea, like iced tea or just
No,
regular?
I like it warm,
Oh,
right?
okay.
I like it warm. Okay, so green tea has to be green tea.
Green tea, interesting.
Green. There's so many different ones that are really good, But I love green
So
tea.
what does green tea do for you?
Well, one green tea is okay, and like antioxidant. It has antioxidant
Wow.
properties, anti-inflammatory.
Mhm.
There's a whole lot of things. There's also there was a study
Hmm.
that actually listed green tea as anti-cancer.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
it has anti-cancer properties.
Properties. Okay.
So if you make it a habit to be drinking, you make it like pick it as one of your favorite things to do. Like get up in the morning, first thing in the morning, don't drink anything. Have your green tea already, made maybe overnight, or if
So
you
you
make
said there's a research to back that up, right?
yes. Oh no,
Wow.
yes. I will share it maybe someday when we
So let me ask you, right? Someone like me, I know, like if you go to the grocery shop or to the herbal shop to get green tea, most of
Mhm.
the time they have caffeine. And personally, I don't take caffeine.
Oh no, they have different varieties. I mean, there's one that's like decaffeinated. They
No,
have
decaffeinated probably still has
yeah,
0.0.
they might still have some stimulant there,
No,
but
I don't need
it
anything
has
with caffeine.
yes, but it hasn't affected me. But if caffeine affects you, they said it's caffeine free,
Oh no,
but
caffeine free is good, but decaffeinated, I don't know about that
I
one.
just have to read the label, if it's not listed there. But if caffeine, the only thing I would say, if caffeine affects you, just take it maybe in the morning. That will actually keep you,
No, but the problem with caffeine, if I take caffeine, my head will hurt.
with headache. Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't even want anything to mess up my day.
Yeah, just take one that's caffeine free, or
Okay, I'll look for the
yeah,
one that is caffeine free
and
then.
see how that goes for you. Yeah, I don't take caffeine too,
Oh, really? No,
No, I
but it
don't.
doesn't do anything to you though.
It gets me wired
Oh,
like a junkie.
all right.
What if it's like
We don't we
enough
don't
of
want
it?
we don't want people to be wired.
Yes, that's what it does to me. I won't like even if I take it in the morning time, the effect will still be there. I won't be able to sleep.
Wow.
It disrupts my sleep cycle. Yes.
Don't you think it's the caffeine content that makes you not to sleep?
Is the caffeine in if it has
Yeah.
now this is like if I take coffee, if I drink coffee.
Wow.
You see, before I was this nursing pushed me into drinking coffee
I don't drink coffee.
when I
So
was doing
people
the night
people used
shift.
to wonder, how will you do night shift? Because I did night shift for a long time.
Yeah.
And people were asking, how are you going to do night shift and you don't even drink coffee? I said, I can't drink caffeine. I can't drink anything that has caffeine in it. If not, I'm gonna pay for it later.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just one of those things. I can't look. I tried it when I was doing the night shift because that was the only thing that could keep my eyes open. But the problem, it kept me like going 24 hours without sleep.
Wow, that's really dangerous.
I thought, yeah, very, very dangerous.
That's very
Just
dangerous.
one of those things. Yeah. But thank God I'm in a different world right now. So where I don't have to drink coffee or caffeine to
Wow.
do my job.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Auntie Nena, for
Oh,
sharing your amazing information with us.
oh my
It
gosh.
really inspired me, I'm telling you.
Oh
I,
my
I
God.
really, I really enjoyed our conversation, right?
Oh, thank you.
So usually what I do is I have this reflection prompt for listeners, and the reflection prompt today after listening to Nana's story will be, what dream or idea have I been sitting on because of fear or checking the box? So
Mm-hmm,
what's one small step that I can take today towards building it, right?
mm-hmm.
So Auntie Nana, thank you so much for
Oh,
coming.
thank you.
Um, so I encourage everyone listening to share the link to this show because it will change someone's life. Very important. Share this, share the link. And if you want more information on how we can, any information that you want us to bring for the show to prevent burnout or handle burnout, or even talk about finances, because we recognize that finances, most of the time, is what keeps people in the same place where they're experiencing the burnout. If you need any financial information, I want you to reach out to me at takechargewithdrchichi@gmail.com. Take charge with drchichi@gmail.com. So for the next episode will be featuring an amazing young nurse. Young nurse. She actually started her nursing career during COVID, and when I was talking to her, she said she's experienced several burnouts, right? From 2000 till now. And she'll be here to share her story, um, and also tell us how she's kept her head above water. She's an amazing young lady, and you will not want to miss it. You want to be here. You don't want to miss it. You want to be here to listen or tune in to listen to her, right? So thank you so much. That wraps up today's conversation on taking the leap, right? Next episode, like I said, we're going to have this young lady and you're going to tune in to listen to her. So that wraps up our show today. And lessons learned in leadership, entrepreneurship for us. And I hope this episode gave you the insight, inspiration, or at least a moment to feel seen in your nursing journey. So if you found this helpful, just keep sharing. Share it with fellow nurses, with anyone. Leave a review. Subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. I'd love to hear from you. I want to hear what resonates with you most. Like I said, for financial information, send a message to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi at gmail.com and I'll get back to you. And remember, you are more than your job title. You deserve financial security, work-life balance, and a career that fuels you, not just drains you. Until next time, take care and keep advocating for yourself as much as you do for your patients. Bye for now and see you on the next episode of Take Charge with Dr. Chichi.
Take Charge with Dr. Chichi is a brand of Sparkling Star Development Strategies LLC. The information provided is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or medical advice. Financial services are offered independently by Dr. Chichi in accordance with applicable licensing and regulatory standards. Thank you for watching.